Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to listen to the opinions of the youth. Yes. I love when adults take the time to participate in events like this because it allows the youth more opportunities to speak on issues that they see in their communities. Now, before I start, I have a couple of questions. Um, I like to get to know my audience before I delve into my 5-minute monologue. So, how many of you, by a show of hands, are Yonkers residents? Great, great. Now, how many of you enjoy living in Yonkers? A difficult question, no? Well, I love living in Yonkers. I moved here when I was 8 with my parents from the Bronx. I actually bought this Rubik's Cube that I've been trying to solve since I was 8. It's, I was never really good at these things. Do any of you know how to solve a Rubik's Cube? No? Nobody at all?
Yeah.
What do you look like, otherwise, man? I think that you could.
I'm not very good at this. I tried this.
I think you could give it a shot. Yeah, but the problems in Yonkers won't be easy to solve either, just like that Rubik's Cube.
Good point.
Anyway, the past 8 years have been full of wondrous moments, but nothing is without fault, and Yonkers is no exception. So with that being said, here are a couple of issues that I see with Yonkers. Now, to start, I'm going to address an admittedly peculiar topic, but it's a topic that must be addressed. The systematic removal of parking spaces in Yonkers. Now, I saw a head nod. So, how many of you struggle with parking in Yonkers? I would think so, almost unanimously, right? Well, when I first moved to my apartment complex, there was no shortage of parking spaces in my area. You could park on my street, across the street, a block away, 2 blocks away. There was always a spot with your name on it, ready. Now, you may be wondering, you were 8. How do you remember what the parking looked like in your area? And yes, while I may have never had to struggle for parking, my family members who would visit have always said parking was never an issue in my area. Until very recently. There has been an emergence of no parking zones in my area that didn't even exist 4 years ago. You heard me correctly, 4 years. And as a future driver in Yonkers, this worries me. I say that we could counteract this by removing some, not all, but some of these no parking signs, just to make it easier for residents to park and live in the area. Now, another issue I have is the increased modernization for Yonkers, but specifically Getty Square. Now, if I may ask, and you can see out of the window, how many of you love the scenery at the waterfront? Look at it, breathtaking. A beautiful view of the Hudson, new apartment complexes, the railroad station, which is very loud, but it all adds up to a beautiful environment. But that gets taken away when you go up 2 blocks, not even a mile away to Getty Square. You see, Getty Square looks a bit rustic in comparison to the beautiful views at the waterfront, and it hasn't had a new addition since the Mill Street Walkway was created in 2017. Now, I love the Mill Street Walkway. I go on it every time I walk through Getty Square. But there needs to be more innovations like this to keep up with the ever-expanding, ever-modernizing waterfront. In short, I love living in Yonkers. The past 8 years have been filled with nothing but splendor and wonderful moments. However, nothing is without fault, and Yonkers is definitely not an exception. We need to fix our parking and our modernization in Yonkers. Now, you may be wondering, that's it? I have issues in Yonkers that you didn't address, that you didn't get to. There are bigger issues in Yonkers that you could have addressed, and you didn't take the time to get to it. Well, if you want change, I must point you to a quote from one of the most influential men to have ever lived, Gandhi. He said, "You must be the change you wish to see in this world." And this is a step in the right direction. This is a step in the right direction. You being here, listening to the youth, is a step in the right direction. And just like this Rubik's Cube, when everything moves in the right direction, we can get a full, formed piece of what Yonkers could be. Thank you.